Forget the covered wagons. This is the new way to travel, and our journey begins right here. Welcome back, fellow road warriors. In our last video, we explored the fascinating contrast between my journey and the pioneers. We visited Fort Kearny, the Archway, and the Gothenburg Pony Express Station. Now we're continuing our Oregon Trail journey westward through Nebraska, and this leg of the trip is all about landmarks. From man-made marvels to nature's challenges and milestones along the route. Our first stop is the man-made marvel that overlooks the Union Pacific Railyard, the Golden Spike Railroad Tower. The tower overlooks the largest classification yard in the world. A docent explained that classifying trains means sorting individual rail cars and grouping them together to form new trains. A massive rail yard like Bailey Yard acts as an automated sorting facility. Arriving cars from different places are pushed over a small hill or hump. Switches then automatically route each car onto the correct track, where other cars bound for the same destination are waiting. Looking out over thousands of rail cars, I'm reminded that the Transcontinental Railroad, which helped build this place, was laid right along the path of the original trails. After the pioneers blazed the way, the train arrived, a new force ready to conquer the West. While early railroads began in the East in the 1820s, the dream of a transcontinental line was a monumental feat. Driven by the Pacific Railway Act of 1862, the Union Pacific and Central Pacific Railroad companies raced to connect the nation, following the very same route that thousands had already traveled on foot and in wagons. It makes me realize that what took pioneers months to travel would soon be changed forever. On May 10, 1869, the two rail lines finally met at Promontory Summit, Utah, where a ceremonial golden spike was driven to mark the completion. This single event changed America forever. What took pioneers months of grueling travel could now be done in about a week. The railroad made mass migration, commerce, and industry possible on an unprecedented scale. It connected two distant coasts and, in doing so, effectively brought an end to the era of the covered wagon and the Oregon Trail as a major migratory route. I had no idea that this was part of the train's history, but this exhibit in the museum also connects back to the pioneer spirit of seeking new life. From the mid-19th century into the early 20th century, these baby trains, or orphan trains, transported over 250,000 orphaned, abandoned, or destitute children from crowded eastern cities to new homes in the West. The trains that brought pioneers and commerce to the West also brought these children, carrying with them a hope for a new beginning. It's a truly humbling and poignant chapter in our history. When the United States entered World War II, the nation's railroads became the very backbone of the war effort. They were the single most important lifeline of the home front, a vast coordinated system that was essential to victory. After leaving the railroad, our journey westward brings us to some truly humbling spots. First, O'Fallon's Bluff, where the trail was a narrow, difficult stretch that forced everyone to navigate a tight pass. After descending O'Fallon's Bluff, travelers would then encounter California Hill, which was another significantly hilly point on the trail. I didn't stop here but wanted to mention it because these landmarks were like the trifecta of difficulty on this section of the Oregon Trail. Then we'll arrive at Ash Hollow State Historic Park. For the pioneers, this was a much-needed rest stop, but getting here was a monumental challenge. This was because of Windlass Hill, named after a type of hoisting device that was used to help lower wagons down the hill. The flat plains are something I'm familiar with since I grew up in the Midwest, but driving in this section of Nebraska, I'm struck by the rather bleak-looking landscape. I'm trying to imagine how the pioneers saw this place. Evidently not much differently than I do. When early explorers first came through here, they saw this vast, treeless land and mislabeled it the Great American Desert. They thought it was too dry and barren for anything to grow. It's hard to believe, but this very ground, the Great Plains, was once considered a wasteland. Of course, we now know it as America's breadbasket. The Oregon Trail follows the Great Platte River Road for approximately 300 to 400 miles through Nebraska. Beginning at the Missouri River, the one-time Indian footpath had become a permanent highway with the Platte River for a center line. Interstate 80 follows the very same path they took, and from here, we can look out at a place that tested the pioneers in a way nothing had before. The Sutherland Visitor Center in Sutherland, Nebraska. This is the eastbound off I-80 rest area, and it's here that we can see part of the Oregon Trail, and they represent the swales and ruts where the wagons passed with these rings, the metal wagon wheel. Let's go see what it's about. After weeks of open travel along the Great Platte River Road, the pioneers met their first major obstacle here at O'Fallon's Bluff. This wasn't a mountain or a canyon, but a series of bluffs that forced the trail right up against the river. The result? A frustrating and often dangerous bottleneck. The wide, multi-lane trail that had been so easy to navigate suddenly narrowed to a single file, forcing wagons to wait their turn and climb over soft, sandy ridges. The pioneers called it a bad road and described the chaos as hundreds of wagons, people, and livestock converged in a narrow quarter. This was one of the first places on the trail where the journey's true physical and mental toll began to show. It was a clear sign that the easy days were over, and the road ahead would be far more demanding. This is where we begin our journey. But keep in mind, the pioneers would have been descending into this little valley and would have rested here. We have to go up and then come down. So luckily we can drive up a short distance and park at the base of Windlass Hill. The hike up and back from the parking lot is about 1.5 miles. It's easy distance, but the grade is not going to be easy. It's 25-degree slope. After the psychological toll of the plains, the pioneers faced a new kind of terror at Windlass Hill. This wasn't a gentle slope. It was a brutal, treacherous descent. To get their heavy wagons down without them careening out of control, pioneers had to lock their wheels and tie heavy ropes around the wagons, using trees and sheer human strength to slowly lower them down the steep incline. It was a harrowing, dangerous ordeal, a terrifying test of their grit. The deep ruts from their wagons are still etched into the hillside today, a testament to the immense and incredible effort it took to conquer this terrifying obstacle. breathing. That was a steep climb up. And I still have more to go. Gotta beat the rain. It's there. You're standing on the top of the world here. All right. I made it. Coming back down from the top of Windlass Hill. Oregon Trail. Passed right through here. This was carved by the wagons. A little hard to see with the overgrowth, but not much has changed, I imagine. After that brutal descent down Windlass Hill, imagine the relief the pioneers must have felt upon finally reaching this valley. This tranquil spot is the Windlass Hill Pioneer Homestead, a crucial stopping place and an oasis after their treacherous journey. It's here where a reconstructed cabin honors Reverend Dennis B. Clary's original homestead that someone has left these old worn cowboy boots placed upside down on the fence posts. In Western culture, this often symbolizes the end of a long, hard journey. For me, they are a quiet, respectful tribute to the pioneers who made it down that hill, finding rest here at the end of a truly monumental effort. It's a powerful, silent message. After all the struggles on the Oregon Trail, the pioneers' journey was forever changed when they saw a new landscape emerge on the horizon. First, they were inspired by Courthouse and Jailhouse Rocks, the first significant rock formations they had seen since leaving the Missouri River. These landmarks were a clear sign that they were moving out of the endless plains and into the American West. But it was the next landmark that truly became a beacon of hope: Chimney Rock. After weeks of monotonous travel, seeing this towering spire on the horizon felt like a miracle. For the pioneers, this was a powerful psychological boost, a physical monument to their journey. It was a clear sign that they were roughly a third of the way to their destination, a powerful reminder that their dream was finally within reach. All right, we are walking to Chimney Rock. There's several different trails to take, but hopefully, I'm not going to get right up to it because I only have a short time to stay here, but this trail is not supposed to be, well, in and out a little bit less than a mile, so here we go. Just never seems like it's getting any closer. The geology of Chimney Rock is a fascinating story millions of years in the making, and it's what gives the landmark its distinctive shape. It's not a single type of rock, but rather a tall spire of sedimentary rock composed of layers of brule claystone and volcanic ash. These layers were laid down over millions of years. The spire was formed by a process called differential erosion. Pioneer journals confirmed that the spire was taller in the 1800s, and it continues to slowly erode. This ongoing natural process is a powerful reminder that even the most solid landmarks are a temporary part of a much larger geological journey. It's been a day of immense contrasts, from the roar of a modern rail yard to the silence of historic wagon ruts, and from the struggle of the journey to the hope of a landmark like Chimney Rock. My modern covered wagon has found its home for the night at the Ruby-Doo campground, named for a French fur trader. As I settle in, I'll be camping in the shadow of Scott's Bluff, our next destination. It's an incredible view, and just as it signaled a new phase of the journey for the pioneers, it does the same for me. It reminds me that the journey never truly ends. There is always a new landmark to explore just beyond. Until next time, happy trails.